Hello, students. This announcement is mostly for the benefit of people who missed class today, Wednesday, October 4th, but it could also clear up some things for people who were there. Because I have moved some things around in Canvas, got a little confusing because of the fact that we are not going to read the third piece of writing by Galileo. So what I did was I created a Google Slides presentation on the chronology of Galileo's writings. That and these other things I mentioned, you'll find all of them in the module for this week, week 6. The chronology points to the fact that the first thing you read by Galileo was in 1610, and it was a straightforward scientific document. The thing you just read for class today was in 1615, and it was more of a political document, Galileo sort of covering his butt in the event that somebody says he's committing heresy. The one that we don't read is in 1632, although I've created a Google slide presentation with a few experts from it. Between those two things, in 1616, it became illegal for Galileo to advocate Copernicanism. So if you look at the chronology, you'll kind of see how the situation on the ground was changing, and that's why he eventually got in trouble with his 1632 book. So then I created another Google slideshow telling you some features of that book, including the front page. He's dedicating it now to a different patron, because Cosimo de' Medici had passed away, but his brother Ferdinando de' Medici is now in power, so he dedicates it to Ferdinando. But what's also in that slideshow is an image of the imprimaturs, which are the sort of he got official permission from 5 different high-ranking people in the Catholic Church to write his dialogue concerning the two world systems, and so he wasn't just kind of putting it out there and being sort of a rebel. But the forward to the dialogue written by Albert Einstein talks about different aspects of it, including the fact that Galileo was kind of being a little roguish. He was complying with the letter of the law, but not the spirit of the law. And so eventually what happens is the Inquisition finds him they say he's suspected of heresy, and they put him under house arrest. They make him deny everything that he said. So those things are to cover the fact that we are skipping over one of Galileo's dialogue. The other thing we're skipping over is the actual reading of Descartes' discourse. Now, René Descartes, if Plato is the most important philosopher and Aristotle the second, René Descartes is number 3. And so he is sort of bringing modern philosophy. And so he has this short book, 50 pages, Descartes' Discourse. Instead of asking you to read it, I have put in there a brief 8-minute video summary of it. And it does a pretty good job of summarizing it. So you should view the video summary, and then there are some discussion questions. So students numbers 1 through 6 have the first question, 7 through 12 have the next question. So that's what you have to do for class on Monday. Meanwhile, I opened the essay number 2 assignment. It's like essay number 1, except it's a little bit longer. Instead of being a definitional argument, it's now a value argument. And so I put in there some possible topics that you might want to write about. And I added a new topic, which is a new opinion piece in the New York Times about AI, because of the fact that several people who wrote essay number 1 wrote about AI and said maybe it is not an existential threat because it's going to be regulated. Well, is it going to be regulated? It's quite possible that there are people saying, no, we shouldn't regulate it. Or even if it is regulated, will the regulations be effective? We have regulations that say you can't dump sewage into rivers, and it's happening all the time. We have regulations that attempt to control guns, and they have no control over them whatsoever. So it's an open question whether AI will be regulated and whether the regulations will be effective. So that's an additional text for you if you wanted to write on that topic. It's a short opinion piece in the New York Times. So all of this is in module for week 6. And I don't think there's anything else that I need to say. So I hope that answers any questions or confusions for any people who weren't in class. And if not, by all means, shoot me an email and I will answer any questions you have. Talk to you soon. Go Phillies.